They told you, get a degree and you'll succeed. But they forgot to tell you, education doesn't end with a certificate. Real education begins the moment you walk out of that graduation hall. It's not a paper that defines you, it's your mindset. It's not your grades, it's your growth. Because education isn't a destination, it's a journey. A journey of learning, unlearning, and relearning. Not in classrooms, but in chaos. Not from books, but from battles. Not from lectures, but from life. What is education if you cannot apply it? What is a degree if it doesn't teach you how to treat people with respect? What is a diploma if your heart remains closed to compassion? True education opens your eyes to the invisible. It helps you see the beauty in brokenness. It helps you hear the voices that aren't loud. It teaches you humility, not superiority. Because knowledge without empathy is arrogance, and a degree without humanity is empty. Empty like a vase with no flower. I've seen people with no formal education who are far wiser than PhDs. Because they learned from life, from failure, from falling, from getting back up again. Education is how you carry yourself in the face of adversity. It's how you speak when no one's listening. It's what you do when no one's watching. It's how you treat people who can do nothing for you. That is education. You can't hang that on a wall. You wear it in your character. You show it in your actions. You speak it through your kindness. You live it. Education is not a thing you finish. It's a life you choose. It's the questions you ask. The curiosity you never lose. The thirst for understanding that never dries up. Don't limit education to degrees. Don't limit learning to lectures. You can be in school and still be ignorant. You can drop out and still be wise. Because real education is about awareness, self-awareness, world awareness, heart awareness. It's about listening more than speaking, giving more than taking. The educated one is not the one who boasts. It's the one who builds bridges, builds people, builds dreams. Education is not about being better than others. It's about becoming better than yesterday. It's about lifting others as you rise. It's about understanding before judging. It's about serving before leading. You see, education isn't about perfection. It's about progression. It's about being teachable, even when you're the teacher. It's about being humble in your success and gracious in your failure. It's not how much you know, it's how much you grow. That's the difference. That's what the degree doesn't teach. That's what life teaches. So, learn from everything, from heartbreaks, from losses, from silence, from nature, from strangers, from mistakes, from pain, from joy. Every moment is a lesson. Every experience is a teacher. Every breath is an opportunity to learn. Don't wait for a classroom. Don't wait for a syllabus. Be your own curriculum. Make growth your goal. Make wisdom your reward. Make learning your lifestyle. Make humility your hallmark. And make courage your classroom. You were not born to collect certificates. You were born to create impact. You were born to light up the world. One act of learning at a time. One moment of awareness at a time. One heart touched at a time. That's education, not memorization, but realization, not competition, but contribution, not recognition, but transformation. You want to be truly educated? Learn how to love, learn how to forgive, learn how to listen, learn how to rise after falling, learn how to be kind when it's hard, learn how to keep learning. Education isn't a chapter you close. It's a story you continue. It doesn't end with a graduation speech. It starts with your next decision. It's not a subject, it's your soul. It's not about tests, it's about testimony, your story, your scars, your strength. Those are your credentials, not your resume, not your GPA, but your grit, your passion, your purpose. That's what makes you unstoppable. That's what makes you educated. The world needs more educated hearts, not just educated minds. More compassion, more understanding, more kindness, because we have enough degrees. but not enough dignity. We have enough scholars, but not enough servants. We have enough intellect, but not enough integrity. Education is not just learning facts, it's learning how to live and how to help others live better. That's the real lesson. That's the ultimate graduation. Not when you walk across the stage, but when you walk through life with grace, with wisdom, with love. Every day, choose to learn, choose to grow, choose to show up with an open mind, choose to serve with an open heart. The world is your classroom. Your pain is your professor. Your purpose is your degree. Make it count, make it meaningful, make it transformational. You see, some people wear robes and caps, but they never wear responsibility. They celebrate their degrees, but they forget their duty. Education is not about celebration, it's about contribution. What good is a medal if your mindset is metal, rigid, cold, and unmoving? Education must be fluid, like water, able to adapt, able to mold, able to flow into every crack of life. That's what true wisdom does. And it doesn't demand applause, it doesn't need validation. Because real education is invisible. You feel it. You see it in the silence, in the little things, in how you handle failure, in how you honor time, in how you forgive people who hurt you. That's where the real lessons live. Not in textbooks, but in trials. Not in lectures, but in letting go. Not in grades, but in grace. They might not give you an award for empathy, but that is education. They won't give you a diploma for honesty, but that is education. You won't receive honors for staying humble, but that is education. And you may never be featured on the news for being kind to a stranger, but that too is education. You're learning, always. When you resist the urge to judge, that's a degree in patience. When you apologize first, that's a degree in humility. When you ask for help, that's a degree in courage. These are not small things. These are not soft skills. These are the strongest skills, the foundation of humanity. But they aren't taught in school. They are taught by life. And life teaches without mercy. It gives the test first and the lesson afterward. But those who keep learning, keep rising, keep blooming, they become unstoppable. They become unforgettable. Not for the degrees they hold, but for the lives they touch, the souls they uplift, the light they bring. So ask yourself today, am I truly educated? Do I live what I know? Do I grow what I learn? Or am I just collecting knowledge without changing my life? Education must transform you. If it doesn't, it's just information. And information without transformation is wasted potential. Don't just learn for the sake of learning. Learn to evolve, learn to elevate, learn to empower. Because that is what the world needs. Evolved humans, not robots with degrees, but souls with purpose. Not minds filled with data, but hearts filled with wisdom. Let your education be alive. Let it breathe through your actions. Let it dance through your dreams. Let it guide your hands. Let it sharpen your vision. Let it soften your voice. I've met people with 0 certificates, but infinite insight. I've sat with women who never went to school, but taught me the language of resilience. I've seen children teach love without speaking a word. That is education. That is brilliance. That is beauty. Not defined by rank, but refined by reality. Don't let society shrink your definition of learning. You are learning when you reflect, when you pause, when you choose peace over pride, when you say, I was wrong. That's a masterclass in maturity. And no university teaches it. You must teach yourself. You must mentor your own soul. You must be your own guide. The world will tell you to aim for success, but aim for significance. That's what true education does. It doesn't inflate your ego, it expands your empathy. It doesn't make you louder, it makes you more understanding. Because when you're truly educated, you don't need to scream to be heard. Your character speaks louder. Let that be your degree. Kindness as your major, integrity as your thesis, purpose as your profession, and love as your legacy. You don't need another class. You need clarity. You need intention. You need courage to live what you've learned, even when no one claps for you. Because education isn't about applause. It's about awareness. It's about awakening. It's about rising every day, even when you're tired, even when you're doubted, even when you're mocked. Because you know, growth is not optional. It's essential. Don't stop reading. Don't stop listening. Don't stop seeking. Don't stop evolving. Because the moment you stop learning is the moment you start dying. Education is breath. It keeps you alive. So inhale every lesson. Exhale every ego. Let go of I know everything. Embrace I can always grow. That's the spirit of education. Not being the smartest, but being the most open. Not being the winner, but being the learner. Not reaching the top, but reaching within. So read the world. Listen to the wind. Watch the stars. Learn from the silence. Let your heart be your teacher. Let life be your library. And let your soul be your student. You don't graduate from growth. You don't retire from learning. You keep showing up with wonder, with gratitude, with humility. Because education is not a phase, it's forever. It's a path you walk not once, but every single day. The most powerful education isn't printed on a certificate. It's etched on your heart, in the way you rise each morning, in the way you face discomfort with dignity, in how you continue, even when it hurts. That's education, that's strength. And that is something no university can give you, because life is the greatest teacher. It doesn't hand out degrees, it hands out depth. It doesn't schedule exams, it surprises you with them. And when you pass, you don't earn a title, you earn transformation. So don't chase the name, chase the nature. Don't chase prestige, chase purpose. Because one wise soul can do more good than 1,000 empty diplomas. And the ones who touch lives are not always the ones with titles, but the ones with truth, the ones who live what they've learned, who practice what they preach, who build others without seeking credit. That is education, the ability to serve without ego, to learn without pride, to speak without harming, to teach without shaming, to shine without blinding. You see, education isn't about being right, it's about being real. Not just knowing what to say, but knowing when to stay silent. That's wisdom. We must raise a generation not just of achievers, but of thinkers. Not just of speakers, but of listeners. Not just of earners, but of givers. Because what good is education if it doesn't change the way we treat one another? What's the use of school if we still walk past the hungry? If we ignore the cries of the broken? If we stay silent when justice is suffocating? That's not education. That's escapism. We don't need more degrees. We need more decency, more empathy, more people willing to live with integrity, even when it's inconvenient, even when it's unpopular. That's where real education begins, when you act not for applause, but for alignment. When your soul matches your steps, when your values guide your voice. That is the mark of the truly educated. And no exam can measure that. No score can grade that. Only life can reveal it. You want to know if you're learning? Ask yourself, am I more patient today than I was yesterday? Do I understand more than I judge? Do I forgive more than I hold grudges? If yes, then you are growing. You are graduating every single day. And that diploma, it's written in how you make others feel. It's printed in peace, not paper. So celebrate your kindness. Wear your humility like a medal. Let your honesty be your crown. That's a degree no one can take away, because the world will try to measure you by what's visible. But you must root yourself in what's invisible. Integrity, compassion, discipline, grit. These are the foundations of a lifelong learner. These are the tools of the soul, and you can sharpen them not with lectures but with living, with failing forward, with showing up again and again. You're not falling behind. You're just learning in your own rhythm. Your timeline doesn't need to match theirs. Your purpose isn't on anyone's syllabus, so stop comparing your Chapter 2 to someone else's Chapter 20. Education isn't a race, it's a revelation, a process of becoming, not just doing. So take your time, take it all in. Take the lesson and leave the shame. Because failure doesn't mean you're uneducated, it means you're engaged, it means you're evolving. And that's exactly what learning looks like: messy, honest, brave. You don't need permission to be a student of life, you already are. The question is, will you stay teachable? Will you stay curious? Will you stay humble enough to grow? The world doesn't need more perfect people. It needs more learners, more listeners, more lovers of truth. So show up for the world, not with your degree, but with your dignity, not with your title, but with your truth, not with your status, but with your soul. Because the most educated people aren't always the ones with the spotlight, but the ones lighting up lives behind the scenes, quietly, consistently, authentically. Let that be you. Let your life be your lecture. Let your scars be your syllabus. Let your mistakes be your mentors. And let your journey teach more than any textbook. You don't need a classroom to educate. You need courage. To keep learning, to keep loving, to keep showing up, even when no one claps, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. Because that's when education happens, in discomfort, in challenge, in silence, in showing up again anyway. That's your real school. That's your real test. And every single day is your opportunity, not to impress, but to impact, not to dominate, but to elevate, not to win, but to witness your own growth. So keep walking the path, keep watering your mind, keep feeding your soul with good thoughts, with honest conversations, with bold questions, with better habits. Because the one who learns is the one who leads.